my mother, my sisters Rosalind, Renee, and Roxanne is with us, and my brothers Ralph, Roger, and Russell, and my nephew Tyree, and their wives and children. I want to thank you for choosing to honor my father with this wonderful tribute on this 10th annual African American Military Heritage Day. My father loved his hometown of Boston. He cared for this community, and he cherished his military service as a member of the 272nd. He nurtured this love for Boston, community, and his military experience in numerous and various ways, which Mr. Workman has shared with you. He remained very busy all the time. However, the one activity that he devoted considerable time, passion, and disciplined efforts to was preserving the legacy of African American military personnel from Massachusetts. In this regard, he would have been so pleased to have seen that young drill unit that paraded down to the park this afternoon. He had great hope for and faith in our young people, and for that reason he worked hard to keep the legacy of Massachusetts African American veterans alive, not just for us, but also for future generations. His passion and discipline and love is why we are able to assemble here today at Edward O. Gordine Memorial Veterans Park. This park would not have existed, of course, without the efforts and the help and the work of a lot of people who are here today, like Representative Gloria Fox. But the idea for memorial was sparked and sustained by the consistent and patient efforts of Justice Gordine's former aide during the Korean War, my father, Ralph Browne. Like many children, I thought I knew everything there was to know about my father. But it was only until last year that I learned about my father's service as an aide with Justice Gordine. And I also learned only last year that Justice Gordine graduated from Harvard Law School in 1924. My father was barely in his 20s, in the early 50s, when he worked with Justice Gordine. My father obviously had great admiration and respect for Justice Gordine, and I suspect that Justice Gordine saw something very special in my dad. I'm not sure whether it was his inquisitive mind, his intellect, his ability to listen very well, or his genuine concern for his fellow service members. But all of those traits may well have led Justice Gordine to recommend my father for officer training school. And although my father never articulated it, I think he may have taken some small pleasure 25 years after first working with Justice Gordine in seeing his firstborn walk across the stage of that same law school in graduation. But beyond today's celebrations and the next 10 years of celebrations, there's still a large part of my father's vision that has left unfulfilled. And that vision is memorializing in stone the service of African American military veterans in this community. We have to etch the memory of their sacrifice, their service, and their bravery in our minds, in our hearts, and in brick and mortar with a plaque, hopefully, so that we never let the legacy of the 272nd or other veterans of our community become lost. So on behalf of my family, I think I neglected to mention my Aunt Mary when I was introducing people. Congratulations to the sponsors of this wonderful event, to all of its participants, and to you, the attendees, for keeping the legacy alive. And thank you again for bestowing this wonderful honor on my father, Ralph Browne. Thank you.